Alright, so today we're going to talk about hazardous attitudes into the aeronautical decision making. Hi friends, my name is Jorge Muñoz. I'm a senior instructor pilot working in El Salvador, and I think this one will be the last video of the ADM process. But we will continue talking about human factors in the videos to come. If you want to see what we talked about in the first couple of videos, I will leave the link of that playlist in the description of this video. If you have any doubt of what we are talking about in this video, you will probably find the answer to that question over there. But for today, we're gonna be wrapping up the aeronautical decision making with the 5 possible hazardous attitudes that pilots can experience themselves that can interfere with our capacity of making effective decisions. As always, this video is going to be divided in different sections, so here on the screen you will see the timestamps for each specific section. And also you will find the timestamps linked in the description of this video, and also in a pinned comment down below. So if you're in a hurry or you just want to know about one specific section about this video, please feel free to jump to the timestamp that you're interested in and go use your time in something more productive. But if you want to see the whole video, I appreciate it quite a lot. I always try to explain what I talk about in a simple way, so that everyone can comprehend it or at least get an idea of what I'm talking about, of what otherwise could seem very complicated. So please, even if you're not inside the aviation world at all, or you are just beginning your private pilot license, but you are interested in this topic, I still highly recommend you watch this video. You will probably get something out of it. First of all, this video was intended to be the third part of the aeronautical decision making series, but I have had a lot of problems editing and exporting the previous video. I messed up some camera settings and some other things while exporting that video, apparently. So I don't know when I'm going to be able to post that video in this channel. I hope it's soon. Over that video I talked about self-assessment for every specific flight and how to use the I'm Safe checklist. But for now, let's continue with this week's video. Hazardous attitudes. What exactly are hazardous attitudes? Well, it is a behavior that can put ourselves in danger as well as the people around us. Now, when it comes down to us pilots, we have already determined that before and during each flight we should ask ourselves the Decide and I'm Safe checklist, like a way or an insurance to ourselves that we are in good physical and mental condition, and that we can effectively take actions mid-flight, besides making sure that our knowledge and experience is adequate for that specific flight. But besides all that, another thing that we have to think of before and during each flight is our attitude, because it can affect the quality of our decisions. But how or when can the attitude of a pilot become dangerous for himself and for the flight? Well, a hazardous attitude for a pilot would be a behavior that makes him act in a way out of the normal for him, that makes him do something that he shouldn't be doing. And those dangerous behaviors are classified with 5 different names, depending on which bad attitude that pilot is experiencing. Other important thing to notice is that these attitudes can affect any pilot at any moment, of any age, of any experience, of any gender in any part of the world. Literally, we are all exposed to experience some of these bad attitudes at any point during our career. The other thing that is very alarming about this is that we are the ones experiencing these attitudes. This means that it can be very difficult for us to even notice that we are experiencing these bad attitudes. They can pass by unnoticed very easy. That's why we should be actively thinking about absolutely every possible factor during the flight, even our behavior. The 5 hazardous attitudes a pilot can experience are anti-authority, impulsivity, invulnerability, Macho, and Resignation. The first one is anti-authority. Their slogan is, "Don't tell me what to do." This happens when a pilot thinks that he knows everything. No one, but absolutely no one knows more than him. No one is right but him. Even the procedures and rules are wrong if he says so. If your instructor or someone older than you or with more experience than you is having this kind of attitude, don't be afraid to tell them something like, "But the procedure says that's not how you do that. We should follow what the rule says, don't you think?" Or something along those lines. Like you want to be polite with them because you know they are older or with more experience, but you have to stand your ground and say what you think is correct. Find the way to politely make them understand that they are being anti-authority. Maybe they haven't even noticed it. A good way to make sure that you are not falling into this attitude is to be aware that you should be following the rules, don't you? I mean, they are usually right, and they are there for a reason. The second attitude is impulsivity. Their slogan is, "Do it quickly." We all have flown with someone that likes the things to be done as quickly as possible, putting extra pressure on the pilot that is over there with him in the cabin. Or maybe if you're an instructor, you have been that person. Maybe because you have a very busy schedule ahead of you, with all that students and their flight hours, or somebody is rushing you to meet their own schedule. But right now you can only do one flight hour at a time. So cool down a bit and focus on the quality of that flight hour that you are giving to your student. Also, if the person that is next to you is the one in a hurry, don't make them screw your workflow over there on the airplane, if you're sure that you're doing a good pace. Because someone with an impulsivity attitude is just not focused on choosing the best possible option for a certain problem. They just want to act as fast as possible. Think first, use the checklist, and so on. Third one, invulnerability. Their slogan is, "It won't happen to me." As you can imagine, when you have this attitude, you think that you are the exception to the rule, the only one, the untouchable, the luckiest pilot alive, just because you think that you can get away with things that you shouldn't be doing. But you do them anyway, because accidents only happen to other people, right? Never to you, just because you are you. And this attitude can be very present in our everyday life. On something like turning your car where it's prohibited. You do it every day even though you know that a lot of other cars have had crashes over there because of that. But you keep doing it because you have convinced yourself that it won't happen to you. Being confident in yourself is good, don't get me wrong. But that's just not confidence, that's just recklessness. Because you are counting on other factors besides you to succeed on what you are doing. And so the antidote for this attitude is very simple. Tell yourself it could actually happen to you. Luck doesn't last forever. The next attitude is Macho, and their slogan is, "I can do it." This one is a little bit similar to the impulsivity, in the sense that you take unnecessary risks. But with the Macho attitude, you take those risks because you feel like you have to prove something to someone else. Like for some reason you feel that you have to prove that you are the absolute best pilot. So if you know that, oh, my friend did that crazy thing with the airplane that he shouldn't be doing. Okay, then with a Macho attitude you will be like, you know what, I can do that crazy thing even better. If you landed the airplane in 50 meters, then I can land it in 40 meters. You get the point. This Macho attitude basically turns everything into a competition. And of course you want to prove that you are the best of all in that competition. But hey, dude, aviation is not a competition. Aviation is a career. You have to be professional, and these attitudes are not professional at all. So the antidote for this Macho attitude is convincing yourself and being absolutely sure that taking risk is dumb. Taking chances is foolish. You don't need to do that. You are not going to be any better of a pilot if you do something crazy in the airplane. Like, yeah, you will be the talk of your friends for like 2 minutes, and after that nobody cares. I think that this one, the Macho attitude, is one of the dumbest attitudes of the fight that I'm talking about. Because for this one, it's like kinda you are forcing yourself to do things just to prove other people that you are better than them. And the final one, the fifth one, resignation. The slogan for this final attitude is, what's the purpose of doing that? You have a resignation attitude if you feel that anything, no matter what you do, you are not going to change the outcome of the flight. Like, I'm not talking about like for an emergency or something like that. Just the flight in general. Thinking something like, oh, if I disappear from this cabin, the flight will be exactly the same. Like, I don't even know what I'm flying. The plane's gotta do what it has to do and I'm here just for the ride. You feel and you think that if the flight is a good flight, then it's because of luck. And if the flight is a bad flight, it's also because of luck. You have no participation in that flight whatsoever. And yes, luck does exist, but your flight does not depend on luck at all. It depends on the pilots, it depends on you. You can make a change to the flight. And so you can say, oh, but I'm flying with my instructor and he knows absolutely everything that he has to do. Or I'm with my captain. If he or she is completely alone in the cabin, it's completely irrelevant. They can do all the flight completely by themselves. I'm just here like an interior plant or something like that. But no, things are not like that. You can help. You can change the outcome of a flight with simple actions. By helping on what you need to help. Maybe you're entering bad weather and your instructor says, okay, I'm taking the airplane, I need you to take the communications. You have a very crucial part on that flight. Your instructor feels that he is not going to be capable of doing both things. Because of the state of the weather, maybe, who knows. But he is confident enough on you that you will be doing your part during that flight. So resignation is not an option. You are not helpless. You can really make the difference in the flight. So, wrapping up, these 5 hazardous attitudes can be present at any point during our flight. They can affect every pilot, no matter how old or young. And it can be very difficult for us to spot those hazardous attitudes on ourselves. But there are some phrases that we can use as a way of antidote to make sure that our decisions are not being influenced by those attitudes. Listen to the others when they are telling you that something in your behavior is a little bit off. And don't be afraid to tell other pilots the same. Let's help each other out and watch over our own backs one another. So that's the end of today's video. If you want to become an outstanding private pilot, or if you are curious and you want to prepare yourself in the best possible ways for all the tests to come, I highly recommend you should check out my book Essential Knowledge for the Private Pilot. You will find the link of the book in the description of this video. It's an Amazon Kindle exclusive, and this book uses the 2 most effective study techniques in the whole world, active recall and spaced repetition. And it applies them into aviation. If that sounds good to you, then please go check out the book in the description down below. It is available in English as well in Spanish. Remember, you shouldn't be studying hard, you should be studying effectively. And with this book, you can do just that. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or at least found it somewhat interesting, please give it a like. If you learned something new, I'll appreciate quite a lot if you hit the subscribe button. And if you just feel like it, you can also follow me in Instagram. The link is also down below in the description. I upload very cool photos over there. Or at least they seem cool in my head. I am trying to upload videos every week, mainly explaining topics that has to do in a way or another with the IFR world, but in a logical order. And also I will be probably talking about aviation in general and education in general, but always trying to contribute something new to you. If you have a question or an opinion about something I said during this video, or you want me to talk about something, please feel free to comment down below, or you can get in touch with me in Instagram. I would love to hear what you have to say. If you found this video interesting, then you should check out the playlist of the Human Factor series that I'm doing. I will leave that link over here in the screen. Once again, thanks for watching and I hope to see you in another video. Bye!